My name is Lauren Reilly, and I'm the Executive Director of Red Dog Farm Animal Rescue Network. So this is Chip. Chip is a chocolate lab mix. He came to us about 6 months ago with heartworm treatment, and he does have some hip dysplasia in the back end that sometimes causes him to have a little bit of some momentum issue when walking on non-carpeted surfaces or concrete surfaces. But he started his initial heartworm treatment, but he'll really be getting into the meat of the heartworm treatment in about a month. The maCares Animal Relief and Emergency Services Fund has helped tremendously in cases like Chip. If it weren't for the financial donations that come along with that grant, we would not be able to provide the medical services that Chip needs. We wouldn't be able to pay for the heartworm treatment. For a dog his size, it's roughly $1,000 to go from the very beginning all the way through to the very end to make sure that all of those nasty heartworms are gone. In his particular case, heartworm medication isn't enough, the monthly preventative that most dogs get. It's cases like that where that grant plays such a crucial role in what we are able to do. It speeds up our process time where we don't have to sort of contemplate, do we help this one or do we help that one? Which one do we have the funding for? It enables us to basically say yes that day. There's no delay, which a lot of times is very critical for the animal. We had a cat that came into the program that had we not had the fund and the ability to know what was in that fund that day and the commitment, we would not have been able to have saved his life because he was hit by a car. And so it literally, in that moment, was life and death for him. The number of phone calls that we get and emails that we get on a regular basis is somewhere between 30 and 40 phone calls a day. And I would say on average, 5 of those are probably needing the grant services in some capacity. And in some of those, we're not even aware the day that we take them in that they need it. So we'll get them in, we'll get them over to their health evaluation, maybe it's a litter of kittens, and they suddenly start pooping diarrhea, and we find out that they've got gastrointestinal issues going on and we need to get that taken care of. Or in the case of Jewel, who is one of the mama cats that came into our program, we had no idea that besides being pregnant, she had an underlying pyromatra, which is a uterine infection that was going to complicate her surgery and her being able to have the kittens. And so not even knowing necessarily what we're getting into, but knowing that the funds are there to be able to deal with it as we need to, rather than having to sort of weigh the other options, transferring them to somebody else, or just knowing that we are able to save their life in real time and not have to worry so much about where everything is coming from. So Chip is just one of the many examples of the types of animals that we help on a regular basis. Dogs we primarily see needing heartworm treatment. Cats we primarily see with upper respiratory infections. We see a lot of horses that have feet problems. We also see a lot of goats and potbelly pigs that have been wandering as strays and maybe have been injured on their expeditions out and about. And sometimes we also see goats and potbelly pigs and sheep that have been attacked by a dog unexpectedly. For instance, we had one goat that came into our program that had been attacked by a pack of dogs that had been passing through. She lost both of her herd siblings and then came to us for her injury, and because the family no longer felt safe having goats and they weren't able to increase their fencing in order to be able to continue to house goats. So they made the tough choice in bringing her to us. In that particular case, we were not only able to help with the medical expense, but we were also able to give them some comfort in knowing that she was going to have a great place to go to once she was fully healed. We see a lot of exotics as well too. We've had bunnies that have come in with gastrointestinal problems, guinea pigs with upper respiratory infections, and chameleons that have needed emergency housing because they haven't had anywhere else to go.